Welcome to another edition of the Black Nerd Book Club podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sean.
I am also here, Joaquin.
And don't forget about me, Chibby Chib. That was weird. That was super weird.
Chibby Chib.
Chib.
Marky Mark?
Chib,
Nope,
yeah.
no, just
Like,
Chib.
Walkie Walk.
You can't nickname your nickname. That's weird. So, obviously, we're going to talk about Infinity War today.
Obviously.
But I know we have some, initial reactions to some other things that are out and about. And let's just start with one from last night. Donald Glover's new video. What are everybody's thoughts? I haven't had time to fully unpack it myself, but I thought it was really cool.
I thought it was really good. It was like, I don't know what this, someone else say something about it.
I also thought it was really good, but my initial reaction was kind of the shock value that it gave. Like, it starts off, with a little guitar, this guy singing in the background. You see him pick up the guitar and he sits down. And you see Donald Glover walk over. And you think he's going to, maybe he's going to join in. Nope. Pulls out a gun, shoots him in the head.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But I thought it was, I don't know what the symbolism is. I don't know if he was trying to mock a lot of these rappers, these current day mumble rappers, but yeah, he definitely shocked me with the gun. If the guns, if that was what his goal was, congratulations.
You think that was a commentary on, like, common day rappers?
I think so.
I completely took it a different way.
Really?
I thought it was his way of kind of like his perspective on America in general.
Well,
like America, like, hey, here's this great song. Here's like the theme song, sort of like to the world. And he's like, nope, that's not what we're about. Boom.
Oh, okay.
I just shot America.
I was taking it like this is America. Like this is what I have to do in America. Like this is like, it was kind of like a mockery. It could be very well be like what you said, but I took it as like he was like, we like to pretend like things are kumbaya, like all the rappers like try to pretend that things are kumbaya while people are getting shot up like here, there.
I think, just this is my hot take. When you have something like that where it produces an initial shock, I don't think it was. I think it was a redirect for everybody. Like he was just trying to get everybody off their toes for a second and catch everybody flat-footed. And what he ended up doing was creating this commentary on the value of distraction in America. And just as long as I'm a black man, I'm going to keep dancing because the kids are going to follow me, and it's just going to keep going. No matter what absurdity is following this, I just killed somebody. And then the dead guy shows back up. And you have to, well, maybe this really is America, and there is a lot of value to distraction. So between this and Atlanta and, he's going to be Lando Calrissian in a movie I'm still not excited about, Solo, a Star Wars story. I talked to a lot of people about that movie. No one is like, man, I can't wait for Solo. Everybody's kind of like, oh, well, fuck it, I'm going to go see it.
What I will give to it, just because personally the way it's been presented is sort of like a heist movie, and I love heist movies. So that's the only attachment I have to the Solo movie. But other than that, I don't have any expectations for it.
I'm indifferent. I don't care.
I mean, I said it when we were just kind of prepping that Donald Glover is the actual, whereas we have one of our people who, I don't want to give him the credit of being in the sunken place.
Hey, don't disrespect the man's. The man's raised you.
The man
He raised you.
nobody.
He raised
The
you.
man raised nobody.
He raised me. He's my father.
Your father believes slavery was a choice.
Okay.
Chip
You
West?
don't choose Chip West. Chippy West.
Oh my
I mean,
you don't
he
choose
probably
your.
could fit in the family with a name like Chip.
Whoa.
They were like, Kanye, what's your first son's name?
Chip.
Like,
Okay.
And like,
We're talking about Kanye West. If you didn't know that, now you know that. But don't disrespect the man.
this is to say nothing about
You don't
the
choose your
quality
family.
of his music.
You don't choose
This
your
is
family,
to say
okay?
nothing about his talents as a musician. Kanye West is about as problematic as they come, and I think that most of that comes from his own willful ignorance, living in this secluded bubble out in Calabasas or Wyoming or wherever the hell he wants to be right now, begging for acceptance from the likes of Steve Jobs and Walt Disney, who I'm sure he has a Hey Arnold, Helga Pataki-esque, sanctum
Wow.
sanctorum in his
Oh
house
my
where he gets on his
God.
knees every night and prays, please let me be like you. Instead of just realizing that he's already done so much where people can recognize him as brilliant, even though, no, you're not going to be Walt Disney.
It's the curse of
You're
a
not
creative,
going to
yo.
be-
It's
you're
the
not
curse.
going to
It's the
be
curse
Steve
of a
Jobs.
creative.
They
Man.
are never going to accept you.
I don't think
And
it's
we're
about
not going-
acceptance.
we're not going to reclaim making America great again. We're not, because it wasn't meant for us. We're not going to reclaim.
I can't believe I'm
We're
trying
not going
to
to
defend
reclaim
this
the
man.
Confederate flag. It wasn't ours to begin with. So I think, as far as just black creatives go, the man who's doing it, the most talented person in the business doing it right now, as a writer, director, or musician, in terms of just how he's being creative with what he's putting out and his evolution as an artist, is Donald Glover. Like, the man has a hit TV show, is about to be in a $1 billion film. Like, Solo will make $1 billion, even though I'm pretty sure no one is really excited about it. They're just gonna go see
Wait,
it.
how does that math work out if no one's excited about it? Because
No.
you're not the first one who's not excited about it.
No, it's because everybody's reaction to Solo is exactly the same, which is, I'm gonna go see it.
Oh,
Like,
dang.
It's
That's some blind faith,
It's
y'all.
meh.
It's
It's
not-
out.
I don't know if it's blind faith. Maybe it's more.
It's just like,
What I love Star Wars. I got nothing better to watch right now, so I guess I'll go watch this. I mean, I'm not expecting much, but I'll go watch it.
that'll
that's
slam the
the
movie.
definition
It'll make its money, and then he's making people think. I mean, even beyond the release of the "This Is America" video, the sketches they were doing on Saturday Night Live last night were really up there in terms of quality. Like, being
I have
able-
to disagree. I'm sorry. I watched Saturday Night Live. It was very awkward. I thought I was very awkward. I was like, oh, no, Donald, no. This isn't, no.
I mean,
You're trying to tell me you didn't like Friendos? You didn't like the Kanye place?
I didn't actually see that one. But I saw the ones that they released on YouTube the night after, which is
this morning.
or the morning after. The ones I saw were like the prison one. The prison one was funny the first time around. I watched it again to like maybe get the same laughs out of it, and I was like, this isn't that funny. Dirty Talk was pretty funny. Dirty Talk was.
Friendos is everything, and I really hope
that
the Migos
Friendos, I
record
love that.
because I can only imagine, Takeoff sitting in therapy, still musing about why he was left off Bad and Bougie more than a year later. Because if anybody remembers the Everyday Struggle interview, he said that with a little heat. Does it look like I was left off Bad and Bougie? I don't have as much mouth.
I think it was like bad bougie.
Like,
Rambo.
there was a little vitriol behind that. I feel like if they really put Migos in a therapist's office, Takeoff be like, bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Rambo.
Never bad bougie.
You gotta denunciate your words.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can. Just
Y'all
do it. Everyone do it with me. Bad bougie.
Slap me in the punch me in the mouth, and then maybe my mouth will sound be like, but I just don't got it. I thought Friendos was great, and now we've covered the brilliance of Donald Glover.
Enough with the distractions, right?
Let's get into the main event.
Woo.
Avengers Infinity War. We saw it as a motherfucking crew last Tuesday. I had already seen it twice before then. And I'm finally ready to kind of break down my thoughts on it. And this is the best movie Marvel's done. Like, it really is. It was a movie that was not a superhero movie. It was about Thanos. It was a super villain movie.
It was. Wow.
And
I've never heard of it put that way, but yes.
No.
And I was so happy that I stopped handicapping about 2 weeks before the movie dropped who was going to die. Because, and if you're listening to this and you're worried about spoilers.
Spoilers!
And if you ain't seen the movie yet,
Spoiler.
you know,
Alert.
go to
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Go to the cheap night. If you're in Rhode
Cheap date
Island,
Turn it off.
head over to
Actually, don't turn us off.
Bring a date.
Head over
Bring it
to what is it?
Bring your mom.
The movie theater. It's
Take your dog.
Cinema World in Lincoln for the Tuesday night. They got the cheap deal on popcorn. You'll enjoy it.
Don't bring your blindfold.
But yeah, we're about to fuck this movie up for you. So
Spoiler alert.
Turn it
Half
off
the
if you
universe
haven't seen
dies. And I'm not saying that as a joke.
yeah, half the universe dies. But I'm gonna break down just kind of quickly what I loved, what I didn't love, because there's fewer things that I didn't love in this movie than any other, and yeah, we'll just take it step by step. Everybody is gonna kind of give their feedback on it and say what they thought about it. You know, like I said, I love this movie. It was fast paced. For a 2-hour and 40-minute movie, it didn't slow down from the time it started.
Anyway, I'll chime in when it's my turn, but
Stop making
It-
that,
You know,
stop making that
it
face.
starts off
It's like pounding his lips over here.
with the statesman's distress call, or letting everyone know that the ship carrying the Asgardians that we saw at the end of Ragnarok has been attacked. And this is going to be dark. There is no happiness here. You see Thor on the ground. He's fucked up.
You know what I love though? When they started that, going into that scene, you know how every movie has like the Marvel kind of theme song. You're going into it silent, and you're hearing
just
SOS.
And then my favorite scene of the beginning of the movie was Thanos boxing up the Hulk.
the Hulk
And the Hulk
got
got that
smashed.
The
He
Hulk
got
that
smashed.
work. Thanos played no games and methodically took him down.
This man
a
gave-
couple of hits at a time.
Hit his neck, and this is the first time I've ever seen the Hulk grab. Like he was shocked. He was like,
He didn't have enough time to get angrier and build up more strength, which is how the Hulk's powers work. Before Thanos completely
Bodied
hit him with a 14-hit Street Fighter super combo and then body slammed him.
Oh my gosh.
And this
Finish
is
him.
one of my gripes.
Sounds about right.
I saw no reason for Thanos to take off the armor. The armor looked better than, Thanos, who, with the assistance of a Bluetooth, probably could have looked like your uncle at any cookout. But he was able to put in that work on Hulk with the armor on. And we can all be honest, the character looked a lot better with the armor on.
I liked him. He looked more human with the armor
But
on.
he's not human, and that was the point.
Right.
But I feel like sorry, go.
No, what I was saying, I also liked the fact that he took the armor off, but it was more for the fact that it made him more vulnerable and made him a little more relatable, which is what they were kind of going towards in the movie. Had you kept him with the shield, A, he would have looked a lot more badass. 2, it also would have took away from what he's doing. Because when you think of armor, it's shield, right? Mm-hmm. And if you have that shield up, then you can't really get to the person because they have that shield there. Even though he's not really a person. But,
just like I feel like Marvel's finally figured out their villains. Like, you don't want to have someone who's so overpowered that it's like, okay, well, the only way that I don't know. I feel like the only way you can defeat them is by doing something ridiculous, like a Deus Ex Machina, something that we talk about a lot. I think that when they took off the armor, it was like, oh, there's a person under there. then it was like, oh, this person has feelings. And then it was like, oh, shoot, he actually wants to do this out of it, like, a good place, you know, like he wasn't like this tyrannical dictator. He was a tyrannical dictator. He just, genocidal.
No matter how well intentioned, it's still genocide.
But like, you were just like, oh, like, he actually has a legitimate reason because he cares, you know, in the sick, twisted way. He cares. And so I feel like taking the armor off was the first step to portraying that. Like, he was a father figure in the film in order to, maybe we'll cut that out because I don't know.
What do you mean?
We'll get there.
Cut off the father figure part. I think I was just.
We'll get there.
He was an extreme surrogate father.
Extreme.
If you wanted to go with it.
Okay.
I mean, if we're keeping it a buck, he legit Elizabeth smarted in Gamora and said, "I'm your father now." Killed half of her population and said, "You're coming with me." So, I mean...
Quickly, for all the viewers, what was your reference for Elizabeth Smart?
She was kidnapped by someone who tried to say that they were her new family. She was literally kidnapped out of her bed. And they just said, "Hey, we're your family now. Don't leave or we'll kill you."
And then she finally escaped, like
7-8 years later.
Now you know.
She wasn't that smart after all. She was only 8 miles
You're welcome.
from her house, but...
Oh, don't.
Hey, she's been with her family for some years.
Oh,
it is
no.
I have no...
Oh, if I had like one of those automated voices, I would like the crowd just going,
yeah.
oh.
The only thing I have to say is welcome to America.
All right,
Welcome to America.
So, back to, after they kill Loki, and he's like, "All right, my children, go out, go get us the rest of these stones." And this was probably my first gripe. The Black Order was not as developed as I would have liked, because you don't know anything about them. Cull Obsidian was definitely the worst. He was huge, but you didn't really understand his abilities beyond him just being gigantic and throwing that weird chain thing. But Ebony Maw, because of the amount of dialogue that he had, and Proxima Midnight were definitely the best representations in that group. Corvus Glaive was interesting, but they still didn't do that much with him. But that first battle between Doctor Strange, Wong, who mysteriously disappeared for the rest of the movie, Iron Man...
He was protecting the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah, they needed his help elsewhere.
That's true.
And Spider-Man versus Ebony Maw and Cull Obsidian was fun, which made me wonder, why didn't they just try to cut off more body parts with the sling ring, if that's what the sling ring can do when it closes?
Would make a good movie.
But I thought Spider-Man's use in that battle was really fun, and what I really loved was the bleeding edge armor that Iron Man threw on, like the nanobites. They're like, "Hey, it's nanotech. You like it?" And then he just went and, started putting in work. I really liked the Ebony Maw character. One of the first instances where I was like, did he need to be CGI? They probably did mocap, but at the same time, I almost feel like you could have figured out a way to, do some heavy prosthetics on a 6'8" guy and teach him the lines. Same thing with Proxima Midnight. I thought she had more practical effects done on her, but she was actually CGI as well. And then the Vision, Scarlet Witch, bit in, where were they, Scotland?
Yep.
She was really having her real doll experience, getting all that Mind Stone penis.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That is literally what was happening.
God.
She's definitely having her
here
Silk
comes another
Spectre, Dr. Manhattan moment from Watchmen.
Okay. All right.
What a movie.
But and then
wait. Can we just how he definitely wrote that? It was they're gonna love this. They're gonna love these.
I didn't write that down. But
I want to see his notes.
He
I
wrote
wanna
it
see his
down. He
notes.
wrote it
I
down.
think
my
they're in his
notes have nothing about Vision and Scarlet Witch.
I see penis in there.
I do definitely see it.
Fuck you. But Vision, let's talk about Vision. Vision became immediately useless.
Yes.
The minute he could no longer phase, it was like Corey's face stabs him through. And I think we need to talk about how selfish Scarlet Witch was.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, she was just kind of, I don't want to leave you. It's like, I feel like someone should have just said, bitch, we can rebuild. It's like, he won't be Vision. I mean, he could have fucked Tony Stark and had the same effect. It was basically, it was like
I don't
Tony
know.
Stark, Jarvis.
What the heck? Where are we going with
Vision,
this?
Yeah, why are we going down this hole right
Vision
now?
is basically
the sunken place.
Vision is basically a combination of Jarvis, Tony Stark, and Bruce Banner,
Yeah, they
and
said
Ultron,
And Ultron and the
with the
soul.
Mind Stone
Yeah.
powering all of that.
Yeah.
So they could have found like the files for Jarvis and like, hey, let's throw it in a real doll, and maybe she won't recognize it. But anyways,
Wow.
Then
what I did,
Then
what-
again, they also
all right,
don't have the file for Ultron anymore.
What I will say
Dang.
that I liked about that is that they really, because I don't think it's a secret that Scarlet Witch is dramatically nerfed in the MCU. Like, her powers are maybe 1/3 of what they are in universe in the actual Marvel universe.
Yeah.
She doesn't have her reality altering powers, but they made great use of the telekinesis.
I feel like they really didn't touch upon the fact that they touched upon the fact that she was powerful when Vision was like, we need someone to destroy the stone, someone to like interfere with it at its like molecular level. But I feel like they should have done a better job of like, at least in the build-up, showing how powerful she was and how important she was. Because I didn't really get that until.
But I think they felt like they didn't have to do that because they touched on it in Civil War, when she basically folded Vision and threw him 20 stories down. You know, they kind of gave a hint. I think that's why they didn't go too deep into how powerful she was, because we had really no idea of knowing from Age of Ultron. It was just kind of like, she can do weird things to your mind and whatever. And then after the whole, one of my favorite fight sequences was definitely the arrival of Captain America, the arrival of Black Widow, and
What are they
Falcon
called?
showed up.
The Hidden Avengers, the
Avengers.
Secret Avengers. That's
like, they just show up and beat the crap out of Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive, and I mean, didn't finish the job, which was kind of weird because I feel like they definitely could have killed one of them in that moment.
They should have.
Like, it would have made for a much more interesting finale. And then one thing that, this is just something that kind of bugged me personally. I'm like, you went back to the Avengers compound and you didn't find Cap's shield. Tony Stark lives there, and you didn't, he definitely brought the shield back there. So there's that, but whatever.
Well, I mean, he didn't pick it up, I guess, out of pride. You could say he didn't look for it, realistically. Because he was like, all right, if you don't want me to have this anymore, I mean,
at the end of
Civil War.
At the end of Civil War, he was crying, that's my dad made that.
Right, exactly. He was like, all right, I won't take it.
He was the equivalent of the rich kid who takes his ball and goes home. Like, my dad made that. Way back there. And he was like, fuck your shield.
But if he had gotten his shield, then Black Panther wouldn't have said, for God's sakes, get this man a shield.
Now, have they got it? I'm going to get to that. But
Someone get this man a shield. Sorry.
I have some other points to make before we get there. But, Bruce Banner's struggle was a great point in the movie. I was like, the Hulk ain't trying to come out no more.
Yeah.
People were like, why isn't the Hulk coming? Because he got his ass whooped.
He knows. He knows.
He knows. He's like, look, I got punched in the fucking throat. Don't hit me again.
He felt pain for the first time.
Like, really,
ever.
he felt like he was scared.
Yeah.
Like, no. So when they decided to go to Wakanda, Bucky's new arm was really awesome. I thought the design on that was really cool. And, just as a note, people are like, why did they have to just... I don't know if anybody read the article on Very Smart Brothers about where they said, why did they have to destroy Wakanda as part of this? for people who aren't comic book fans, the reason that Wakanda was the place they decided to have this battle was Wakanda's the only country on Earth that could handle it. It's the most advanced nation on Earth.
Amen.
They have the best tech.
Amen.
Like, and all of its warriors can basically fight on par with Black Widow at a minimum. So when you have that situation, they're like, oh, we got to do this in Wakanda because Wakanda can stand up to it. And you saw when they got to the final battle that, you know, and I'll get to that in a sec, Wakanda was ready. And they're like, all right, we might lose, but it'll be a noble ending. And, I mean, I loved the inclusion of the Guardians. My only major problem with the Guardians was I didn't feel like the whole Star-Lord Gamora thing was that earned. Like, I just feel like it was kind of shoehorned, like, that they were in this kind of romance that didn't exist previously, where it was kind of like she tolerated him as a colleague, where they were like colleagues who cared about each other in a I don't want to see you get shot kind of way, versus like now they're in love, and I was just kind of
well,
strange.
the second Guardians, I think did better justice to it.
No,
In terms of those feelings. I mean, I agree with you, but at the same time,
it felt forced. It felt forced.
Not too much to me, but
one of my favorite scenes is watching Star-Lord trying to, you know, in his, you know, magical dick swinging contest with Thor, where he's trying to imitate Thor's voice and come off as the stronger man, where it's like, dude, no, let it go. Like, you've lost this round. You're not gonna lose your chick. Relax. And then when they split up, you know, I like the little pairing of Rocket and Groot with Thor. For some reason, that team just worked. And then you have, you know, the other team, they go to nowhere, and you kind of knew they were going to get hit with the okie doke in nowhere. Drax was basically useless the whole movie. He did not really affect much. Mantis was helpful. Mantis really put in some work on Thanos. When they were all on Titan, I thought that was cool, fighting with Iron Man, fighting with Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange, who mysteriously decided not to use his time-stopping powers when they actually fought Thanos. And Thanos made note of that.
Ooh, well, he did do that thing with his head.
Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, I know.
What?
He
I
did.
guess traveling through time gives you a seizure.
Yeah, like he was like looking. He looked at all the possible. Yeah, you can't see Sean right now, but he's shaking his head vigorously. Vigorously shaking his head.
Is this the best way to display him traveling through time and doing time?
So he did say that he saw all the possible.
He didn't see all the possible. He saw 14 million of them, where only one of them.
No, he said he saw all possible, and it just happened to be 14, right?
14.
No, he didn't say all. He said 14 million. There could have been more.
Regardless, he saw a good amount. He saw so many, and he only saw that they won in one. So I think that everything else after that was planned. Like, he needed to get everything. Thanos needed to wipe out half the universe so that A, we can have an Avengers 2, B, we can have a Captain Marvel and Marvel's Phase 3, but also, like, I don't even remember 3, like something. I think something interesting is going to happen. Like, they haven't written themselves out of. They wrote themselves into an interesting story, which I think I've seen some things on YouTube about how people believe one thing or the other, but. I'd like to just believe that it's going to be good. It's going to be a good.
Well, I don't even want to.
I have a question though. I have a question.
Yes.
Do we think Doctor Strange told Iron Man how to win?
He can't.
Why?
Rule number 1 of time travel.
No, you can if it is in the best interest.
You can't.
No.
The thing about time travel is.
Wait.
If you go into the future and you look at the future and you see, oh, this is how we win.
Yes.
Because if you notice, when he gave him the time stone And he's like, Tony, was the only way. And Tony was like, why would you do that? As he's like reeling from being stabbed in the gut.
Yeah.
He was just like,
I love that scene, by the way.
He didn't know what was going on.
But let me posit this possibility to you. What if in the future that he saw, he had to tell Tony what if the future that he saw required him to tell Tony what happened?
I mean, it's a nice what if, but I like.
I'm just saying you can't say that because
the rules of time travel.
The rules of
pretty
time,
strict.
Unless the person the person that you tell is required, like you are supposed to tell. It's just like the grandfather paradox. Like, it's not exactly like it, but like you living is dependent on you doing something either good or bad. You know? So what if them surviving is dependent on Tony finding out?
But the other piece is Tony had no way of knowing everything else that was happening. Doctor Strange at that point really had no idea how they were getting back to Earth.
But I'm saying like after Thanos left with the snap of his finger, how do we know that after that point Tony needed to know this? I'm just saying. I'm not saying that he does know. I'm just saying that we can't say for a fact to answer Joaquin's question.
I want to kind of get to theories a little later, or I just want to kind of just throw out my last few things what I loved.
But do you see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Okay, I just want to make it clear that we don't know anything.
Oh, no,
but we know everything.
We don't know shit yet. I mean, I'm gonna get there. As far as the battle on Wakanda, everyone watching watching Black Panther and Captain America track star their way down to the front line in front of everybody and just start putting in work. That was an awesome scene. I loved everything about that whole setup. Everything that happened in Wakanda was really fun. Then it got extremely fun when Thor showed up.
Oh man, I lost it at that part.
When he came, I was like, "Bifrost in my hand." Oh man!
And like,
Thor gets his hammer back. Spoiler.
No, he didn't. He doesn't have a hammer.
No weapon.
He doesn't have.
Okay, he has
Mjolnir. He has Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker
Hulk.
Like an axe.
Oh, Stormbreaker Hulk.
And what is it in the comics? Like Bjorn? Something like that.
He doesn't have Mjolnir.
That's the name of it. Because they like.
He does have Stormbreaker, which is 1,000 times more powerful than Mjolnir, and he comes through and he's putting in work.
Beta Ray
Bill. And Rocket being picked up by Winter Soldier and spun around, and gets him. That was great. And then he was like just trying to scam Winter Soldier out of the arm. Like, how much for the arm? I'll get it. Like, he kind of gave me like, my nigga. Really? But
you think he's getting that arm?
He is. Oh, he can't because he disintegrated.
Well, that's not the point. But you think?
Oh no!
I personally think he could get the arm.
They could probably give him something, but
he disintegrated.
The fight on Titan was great. Watching when Doctor Strange finally started kind of going ham with his powers and did
Doctor
the whole
Strange was a useless
arm thing and then Star-Lord fucked everything up.
Again, part of the plan.
Listen, I don't think he thought it was. I don't think that was part of the plan originally. And Doctor Strange was like, everything's going to happen this way anyways. I just have to let it play out. But when he starts, where's Gamora? And you have...
Yeah, I was like, come on, man.
There, like,
why is Gamora, really?
Yeah, Drax was good for a comedy line, but he's so much stronger in the comics, and it was so disappointing to see him not be able to do shit.
Everyone is so much stronger in the comics, yo. Hulk.
Well, I mean, Hulk had an interesting arc. I'm saying the difference between Drax and Hulk is Drax didn't have that much of an arc in this movie. Like, he had clear motivation for wanting to fight Thanos, but all he basically did was get broken down into blocks.
True.
He got a couple of kicks in, maybe one cut that didn't really do anything, and then he got turned to dust. And he was funny, but that was it.
That was a
Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit.
Tough.
That was so dope.
Very tough.
Tough.
And then at the
Spider-Man
end,
dies.
like when everybody's disintegrating after Thanos has come through, and Thor kind of wasted his one shot going for the chest instead of the head.
Damn it, Thor! You had one job. Don't even go for the head. Actually, go for the head.
He should have gone for the arm.
He should have gone for the arm. Thor of all. Damn it, Thor!
But,
Damn it!
What if even if after he got it chopped off, you still have feeling in your arm?
Oh,
Well,
no.
It just snaps.
He's not a lizard.
Yeah,
He's
but
Thanos.
Just
he'll
imagine.
still be alive when it
He's not
falls
a
to the
crook.
ground.
But what if it snapped, even though it got cut off?
But
Okay,
I'm
go
sorry.
for the head.
I'm sorry. What if?
What
He
if?
could've gone
What
for
if?
the
What if?
head.
What if?
And then
It's like that
everybody
Nicki line.
just kind of like trying to attack Thanos, and him just kind of swiping everybody away with a flick of the wrist.
Was it Nicki or Drake?
I don't know what you're talking about, but please, I
That-
want you to elaborate now.
The line. He was like, "Why would you aim for the chest when you could aim for the head?"
No,
That's a Nicki line.
Was it Nicki or Drake? Someone in
know.
that. Someone said that though. Someone was like,
Nicki like that. All I know is that Thanos' line was,
"You should have
"You
gone for
should've
the
gone
head."
for the head." Boom.
Boom.
Ah.
So
Are we in the what if
now
now?
let's talk about everybody turning to dust. I think the brilliance of that was,
It was so delayed.
Like,
if they
anybody could
really
get it.
If they
That was the
really,
brilliance.
like, he didn't erase it was more of an erasure, because if it was just death, I feel like a more effective way to show death would have been to just have
Everyone died.
just drop,
Yeah.
just have people just drop and hit the floor.
Yeah.
That would have hit you more like viscerally, just to see the bodies.
Yeah.
Bodies hit the
But
floor.
watching Spider-Man in that part was actually
Sad.
It was sad,
I
one,
felt it.
but it was improvised.
Really?
Tom Holland improvised that scene, and with the whole Mr. Stark, I'm not ready to go yet. And that was the first time I was like, oh,
How dare you? How dare you?
Damn it, Thanos.
So
Thanos.
what I do
Thanos.
think
The noose.
now I'm just gonna go a couple things I didn't love about the movie.
Too much talking.
At the top of the list, it was the CGI.
The lack of practical effects. The end of the movie was when it was most apparent, where you have everybody standing around after everybody just disappeared, and Rhodey kind of looks like he's floating, and then
Oh, yeah.
Banner's body it looks like it's detached from the Hulkbuster armor. It was just kind of weird. I'm hoping that in future phases that they can lean a little bit more into practical effects. They have access to, Henson Studios, and like they're using Industrial Light and Magic. Like they can definitely go that extra step to make some more realistic, like some things that feel like they're in the space, especially like during fights.
I feel like they could, but would they? Why would they?
I feel like
Besides, like the real movie buffs,
they'll.
like ourselves.
Well, I just think that that's going to get there, and I already talked about Star-Lord and Gamora. Cap's Wakandan shields looked cooler than they actually were in action.
Yeah, and
They
I wasn't too impressed.
They were like, what? Also, can I say something that I didn't like? Are we on the parts that we didn't like right now? There was too much talking. I was like, at some points during the movie, I was like looking down at my watch. I was like, shit.
I didn't even notice. I
No?
didn't even
I was
notice
like-
dialogue like that though.
I was like, yo, it's so slow right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one,
No.
but it all made it worth it. That last scene was like, okay. But I was definitely like, come on. I wouldn't watch this again because there's just too much talking, too much deliberating. I don't know why Doctor Strange and Tony and Spider-Man went to Titan. That doesn't make any sense. 3 people, you think you're going to take down the person who killed half the Asgardians, and like they talked about it for like 5 minutes before they actually did something, and I was like, fam, turn the ship around, go
Like,
back to Earth.
Do the circle thing. That
Yeah,
gets you to open up that portal, Strange. Like it's work. And he's like, Tony, can you take us home? I would, if I was like in that situation, I'd be like, motherfucker, you're the one that can open portals in space time anytime you want. Like if you want to go back to Earth, you only have to literally visualize.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that kind of like irked me a little bit. The disappearance of Wong in the second act of the movie was just kind of like, I get it, you have to protect the Sanctum Sanctorum, but it's kind of like your skills could have been useful. Like,
we could have used you.
yeah, they definitely could have used Wong. And all the other wizards. Who knows what's happening to them, but I think that's going to play a big part in Doctor Strange too.
I'm going to go with budget cuts.
I feel like if they went to Disney and said, hey, we ran out of money, we need more.
No.
Disney would not have said no in this case. Like, they would spend whatever you need.
I thought they were supposed to also weave in like the Netflix universe.
No way.
So that's complicated because the Netflix, like the TV division, which if they really wanted to, Kevin Feige could have made it happen. But I think for this, what was Daredevil or Luke Cage or Jessica Jones?
I mean, it's
and
just
certainly not Iron Fist going to do in Wakanda during that battle.
It just makes it now difficult
Right up to space.
with people disappearing. Like before, like the event was what they referenced it, and I was like, okay, that makes sense, the event. But how are they gonna, like, without them being in the movie, without, like, how are you gonna rationalize a whole half of the world disappearing and y'all
Well, that's the
weren't part
benefit
of
of
it?
those having, like, see, they can, because Jessica Jones season 2 already happened.
Yeah, so
You
she's
can
out.
rationalize that she disappeared. You can rationalize that maybe Iron Fist disappeared while they're working their way through Luke Cage season 2 and Daredevil season 3. But I do think that they're going to have to explain that. And they have, to some extent, included the film in the TV universe by talking about it during Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, they mentioned Thanos during the most recent Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode. So, we'll see. And then, I mean, other than that, you know, in terms of just theories of what comes next, I do not believe Gamora is dead.
But her body.
Did you?
I believe
there was an
trapped.
interview. They confirmed it.
Yeah, she's trapped.
She's
in
trapped.
Soul
That
Stone.
before he goes to like his little shed out in wherever the hell that is. They whoever the Russo
Yeah,
brothers
that was, like,
made.
space
The
main.
orange space was actually the Soul Stone.
Yeah, the Soul Stone. Like, I think Gamora and everyone who was snapped away is trapped in Soul World, which is the world inside of the Soul Stone.
That makes
so
sense.
we'll see that.
Because
I'm hoping that
they
we'll see
could have
that.
just disappeared.
But what I kind of think is, my hope is that they find ways to kind of really make it reverberate across the universe in a more long-lasting way. Like, even after things are reversed in the next one, like, I would like to see, you know,
A Quicksilver death.
not necessarily a Quicksilver death, but like because I'm okay with every character coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Black Panther made over $1 billion. T'Challa will return.
He has to.
They said that.
You know, so while Thanos is out in Space Main on vacation, because that's what it was. Like he woke up and was just like,
I'm in that new Bugatti.
like, hey man, the air is fresh out here.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
And like that moment fucked everybody in the theater. They were like, the fuck? This motherfucker just woke up in a cabin.
He was relaxed.
This is how we're gonna end it.
He was like, he was just chilling. You know, he's probably trying to order some room service out at his Space Main cabin, his Space Vermont cabin.
In French.
And you know, I think long term they're gonna have to figure out, all right, how do we now include Adam Warlock? How do we now include, like, what's going to happen to the Guardians next? What is the next big threat? Because with X-Men potentially coming through, and with the Fantastic Four potentially coming through, once Avengers 4, which I've decided I'm really not going to speculate that much on because it's going to drive me fucking crazy. Like, where do they go next? Like,
Galactus.
Oh.
Galactus is too.
Wait, does Galactus disappear too when half the universe gets?
Wasn't he? Well, isn't he like a celestial?
Question.
Huh?
Isn't he like a celestial?
But I mean,
something
half
else?
the I'm assuming like this is half of everything.
Everybody can get it. These hands are
Everyone.
rated. These hands are rated D for everyone.
Everyone, yes.
Maybe. I mean, I have to go back and reread the Infinity Comics, but I think that. I mean, also the story was was different, and I kind of liked the decision about him having a more noble purpose than just trying to impress death.
Do you think that sold off well? I only asked because I had a buddy of mine who watched it, and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't really buy it. I didn't really like how they were going from place to place. It felt a little disjointed."
That I do. I also saw that. I was like, "Wow, we've been to 30,000 places and no action." But I
can't tell if it's because I was so hyped for the movie that it didn't bother me, because I've watched other movies and you have all these cuts and it's like none of it feels like it's flowing, but I felt all right with it when I was watching.
I think it was your buddy like a Marvel fan too?
No, he's watched all the movies, but he's not like
okay.
super hardcore.
Okay,
he is a writer. I'll give him that.
I mean, a buddy of mine texted me and was like, that ending to Infinity War isn't sitting well with me, and this isn't a comic book guy at all. He's just like, I don't know why, but that ending doesn't sit well.
I mean, it's not supposed to sit well with you.
It shouldn't.
It's infinity.
But I think,
what?
And like I said, I think it's best for all of us to just not speculate on what's going to happen in Avengers 4. It's just because your brain's going to explode trying to do the calculus of, all right,
14
if they go back in time.
I can do calculus.
I mean, we can definitely sit here and go, well, if they go back in time and they do X, Y, and Z, maybe they'll get this.
Wait,
or if they
let
do
me.
This,
I hope they don't go back in time.
Let me pull up my time
want them
stone
to.
and.
But we have two movies coming out, and I love the end credit scene because it felt like I felt like the end credits was well deserved.
Chip looking at all the possibilities right now. Give him a second.
Yeah,
His head was having a
He's
seizure.
out here having a mystic seizure.
I just saw 15 billion
epilepsy.
possibilities. 15 billion. Take that, Doctor Strange.
With his mystic epilepsy.
And I cannot tell you
Mystic
the secret
sensitivity
because...
to bright, shining lights. Like, that's what that was.
If he told us, he'd be breaking one of the rules of time travel.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
But, I think that the focus needs to be on Ant-Man and the Wasp, which the trailer dropped earlier this week. It looks fantastic. I'm excited for it. I'm more excited for the end credit scene on Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, if they really want to mindfuck us, they wouldn't put an end credit scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, man, imagine that.
Like, everybody would just be fucked up.
How dare they?
But most importantly, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is going to come through and catch up with everybody.
I don't understand how she's related to all of this, though.
She's OP.
She's OP as fuck in this universe, and we have to wait for her.
Overpowered, if you didn't know. Sorry.
She's going to be facing Thanos.
The news.
But in her own movie, she's going to be facing the Skrulls.
Oh, true.
So
this is how they're bringing
single-handedly.
the Skrulls.
Yeah.
One hand, tied behind her back.
In reality,
Both legs above her head.
If they get to the point where, all right, the Avengers restore everything Thanos fucked up, and then they have to do something to bring in X-Men and Fantastic Four, like a Secret Wars, which would be cool because then they can bring in Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool,
My boy DP.
and all the characters from that universe, and appropriately mash together the different universes, including a newly constructed X-Men universe. Let's not get it twisted.
It's gonna be all about Wolverine.
Nobody wants
I want
Hugh
that.
Jackman back.
I want that. How do you know?
I'm
I loved Logan.
Logan
Logan was a great ending.
It was.
And I'll get to that in a second. My
X-23.
feelings about why I think that they're probably going to go into Secret Wars after this. But I think we need to just calm down and wait. We have July and then we have March. July and March. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel. That's when we're going to kind of get a sense of what's next.
Wait, but doesn't what's it called again come out next year too?
Who?
The Avengers 4?
Yes.
Avengers 4.
May 3rd.
May 3rd
May
next
3rd.
year.
Less than a year.
Oh wow.
So, and then you have Spider-Man: Homecoming 2 next July.
Oh, so,
So-
he has to come back.
He's definitely coming back. But what's going to be a mindfuck is they're probably not going to do much marketing on it until right after Avengers: Infinity War or Avengers 4 drops. It's going to like
What I really want to know about Spider-Man: Homecoming 2 is how does Aunt May take this all? Because she finds out at
we
the
don't
end.
know
Unless
if
she disappeared.
I'm just saying I want to know how she
half of
she
people
takes in being Spider-Man.
half the universe chosen entirely at random. Like, and probably leaving out like half of the Asgardians that he already laid judgment to, which is why you'll see a Valkyrie and a Korg, because you definitely saw what they did to the Asgardians.
My friend sent me this link actually. It's the Thanos Slay You, and I think I'm gonna put that in the SoundCloud link.
Slave.
Yeah, no, it's like you click on it and it's like either you were spared or you disappeared.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I need that.
So everyone can find out.
Whether
Even if you
or
haven't
not-
watched the movie yet. Even
Just
if you didn't know
find
we
out.
had spoilers. I mean, at this point, right?
At this point, you really messed up.
There was something I did want to bring up. And as Sean's typing away, Chib, one thing that really stood out to me for the fact that we sat together
Yes.
when I watched it my third time,
Yes.
it being your first time.
Yes.
I guess I didn't actually read your facial expressions or your expressions in total, but to me, you look like you were devastated.
I was very devastated. But I do want to say that for all it's worth, I think Marvel did a very good job. I've been the number one critic of Marvel movies, and Black Panther being one of the better ones that I've seen, and then this one, I'm like, okay, Marvel, you can get it. I want to read you now. Like, I want to read your comics now. You do tell decent stories. But yeah, I was devastated because I knew it had to happen. I was like, there's only one way that this movie can end. Half the people have to die or have to disappear. But I didn't want it to happen. Each step of the way, I was like, oh no, don't. Oh no. Oh wait. Oh no. I was wishing for them to win and they would lose, and I'd be like, oh, okay. Next opportunity. And then finally, when there was no other opportunity, and it became apparent like what was going to happen. It was just like, they messed me up. Like, I just felt messed up at the end. So, yeah, my face was kind of like doing this thing where it like twists and turns and like looks really ugly. But it was because I was actually falling in love. If I have to say it like that.
I can only imagine how your girlfriend must feel.
Oh, she doesn't know.
Oh, wow.
She doesn't know that I fell in love with someone else.
Nice.
But yeah, Thanos was a boss. I loved it.
Wow.
I've kind of said what I felt. I felt like there was a lot of talking. There was a lot of this, a lot of that. But it was overall a very good movie. It was like the culmination of 10 years, and the thing is, I feel like they could have done it. I don't know if people were like, oh, you needed to watch all the movies beforehand in order to get what's going on. I feel like they did a pretty good job of making a standalone movie that, maybe you would have seen Thor Ragnarok. Maybe you would have you had an idea of who the Avengers were, but I don't think you needed to see every single movie in the cinematic universe in order to get what was going on. They did a good job of just like, hey, these are the stakes. Let's stick to the stakes. Let's stick to the rules of the universe and just executing a pretty good movie. So
Something else I will also put in the SoundCloud link, maybe for the photo. I'll put what is it, Sean, the photo you sent me about all the Marvel movies you should watch before watching Infinity War and the ones you can get away without watching.
Mm-hmm.
Since I haven't talked about what I enjoyed and didn't like about the movie, I like that it was fast-paced, at least it's fast-paced to me. I felt like there was no sort of room where it didn't make sense to show something. My only complaint, having watched it 3 times, was when.
LOL.
Yeah, I watched it 3 times. One time with Sean, his girlfriend, Nigel, her girlfriend, his girlfriend. He's not a woman. What am I talking about? Another time with my boy, and then the third time with the entire Black Nerd group. The part where they go to Vormir to find the Soul Stone, and every time Thanos, after he kidnapped Gamora, I felt that those interactions kind of dragged on a little bit. And I was like, all right, get me to the good stuff. Maybe because I already knew what was coming. Having watched Gamora fall off that cliff 3 times, I was like, all right, yeah, you're dead. That would actually be a great video to make.
That's Gamora falling off multiple times.
Forever. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I thought it was really well done. Obviously, there's some complaints with the CG, but I was alright with it. I mean, if I'm going to watch a movie, it's because I'm accepting a few things that I know, they can get away with, and I'm just here for the ride.
Well, that's said and done. The next movie up is Deadpool.
DP.
That's like early June, right?
Mr. Pool.
Oh, it's a couple of weeks from now. Actually.
Yeah, it's in May.
Actually,
Are you coming with us?
Oh yeah.
Are you going to be available?
I should be.
Do we have to pencil that in?
Deadpool drops this week.
This week?
No, it does not.
Oh, May 17th.
This week's not the 17th. Crazy, get out of here.
It's next week.
I'll make you walk.
So he drops. The crew actually has to get tickets for that one.
Crap.
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be nice to see Cable on screen.
Cable. Back to Thanos. Thanos number 2.
He's a villain, right?
Josh
No.
Brolin?
He's the villain in the movie.
He's the bad guy in this particular.
But I know he's not
movie,
a.
But he's not a villain naturally.
Yeah.
He's going to kill a little fat boy. I'm sorry.
Which that brings up an interesting question of what they do if they're trying to merge the X universe with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, how do you handle Cable?
Double dip.
You can't.
Oh, X-Men and technically it's part of X-Men, right?
Yeah, Cable's is technically an X-Men, X-Force character.
X-Force, gender neutral.
I mean, X-Force's origin is that the original X-Force was the original X-Men, so it was Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, and Angel before it kind of just broke down into all these different teams, different groups of people who had assembled.
Wolverine.
But I mean, my hope is that they do something like a Secret Wars to bring the X-Men in, because there needs to be some way to justify why really old men would be fighting, because the reality is the MCU exists in a world parallel to ours, where it's on that same timeline, where it's 2018 in that universe. And based on the fact that Magneto was a preteen, or at least a child, at a minimum a child during the Holocaust, that would make him and Professor X somewhere in their 90s. And I don't know how that would work. Like, why is this old man going around moving metal shit with his mind? So
Just cause.
it'll be interesting to see how they work that out once they get, the X-Men property back. But we'll see. So I mean, I'm hopeful for Secret Wars. Like I said, I'm not going to pay too much attention to Avengers 4 until, show me a trailer. Otherwise, I'm not going to rack my brain thinking about it. But Deadpool's going to be awesome. And I mean, any last thoughts, guys?
I guess final question. Would you recommend to a friend?
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Absolutely. Oh, we didn't actually talk about any anime this week or manga, and I'm just going to point out that I'm not sure I think Luffy deserves to be called an emperor yet.
Why not?
I don't think he's there yet.
I think he's good enough.
No.
I don't mean like he's up to it. I'm just saying he's good enough. He met the minute he's like the kid you socially promote, you know, to go to the next grade. He's like he met the minimum requirements. Just give it to him.
What are the minimum requirements? Like, how much power does he really have?
He has a small fleet. The thing you can give to him is he got away from Big Mama's base.
Yeah,
I'll give him that. He got away.
He got away, barely, but got away.
How does the world know he barely got away?
I don't know, because I was reading that chapter and I'm like, man, this is like this would be considered a fluff piece. Because they're like, everybody's kind of incredulous, like, including Big Mom, like, how the fuck did he defeat me? We're still out here. I'm out here with my 900 children who act as my pirate crew.
Spoiler,
yes, Big Mom has a lot of...
If you can look it up on, like, seriously, I'm going to stop saying spoiler alert, because if you care that much about this stuff, either keep up or read the Wikipedia. Otherwise, it's not my fault if you're 5 years behind.
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
You're 5 years behind.
Spoiler alert.
Anyway.
5 years too much.
Let's wrap this up, unless anyone has anything else
That's
to say.
it.
No, I think it was
that's another episode of Black Nerd Book Club. Check us out online, SoundCloud, BNBC401, and Twitter, BNBC401. Thanks for joining us. This is Sean, signing out.
Chibs out.
Joaquin, we out here.